Well, Miranda did an excellent job introducing Web 2.0 and giving some examples. Following up on her discussion, the second portion of the chapter begins with a focus on how database management is a core competency of Web 2.0 companies. Data is crucial, which leads us to the first question discussed in this portion: who owns the data? It is important to understand this because controlling data is key and can lead to market control as well as financial returns. The example given by O'Reilly is with web mapping. This includes MapQuest, Yahoo Maps, and Google Maps, just to name a few. These companies made substantial investments into building their databases. The high competition is in what is referred to as the web mapping arena demonstrates how a failure to understand the importance of owning an application's core data will eventually reduce its competitive position. While the article identifies the importance of owning the core data, more importantly, companies must strive to be the first to engage its users. O'Reilly states that the winner will be the company that first reaches critical mass via user aggregation and turns that aggregation data into a system service. Although we just recognized that company control over data can be key, there has been a significant rise of the free software movement, referring to the freedom for users to control the data themselves. The most common example of this being Wikipedia, which we discussed last class. Moving on to my second takeaway point, a defining characteristic of Internet-era software is that it is delivered as a service, not as a product. And as with any service, day-to-day operations are crucial and must be maintained on a daily basis. Google owes some of its success to its system administration, networking, and load balancing techniques, which ensure their cost advantage over competitors. Another point mentioned by O'Reilly is that users must be treated as co-developers. For example, Flickr is a photo sharing website and continues to develop as users upload more of their own original content. In case you haven't caught on yet, users are really the key to Web 2.0. The most successful web services are those that have been the easiest to take in new directions unimagined by their creators. Think hackability and remixability. The first example I thought of was Facebook. Zuckerberg created it originally as a social site limited only to Harvard students to rate women as hot or not. Nowadays it has expanded to have an entirely different purpose with upwards of 1.19 billion users. The area where we expect to see the biggest change in Web 2.0 is in the platform. The software is now above the level of a single device. The best example of this is the iPod and iTunes duo, with iTunes acting as the control station and the handheld device containing the same content, music. This being an outdated example, there are endless possibilities to new platforms that can arise. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them, but on page 15, the Web 2.0 design patterns, there are 8 design patterns taken from Christopher Alexander's book, A Pattern Language, which serve to outline the core solutions to some reoccurring Web 2.0 problems. Some of the ones that stuck out to me were that users add value, therefore don't restrict them, and to cooperate, not control. This means that you should reuse the data services of others and support lightweight programming models that allow for loosely coupled systems. Now that Miranda and I have discussed Web 2.0, I hope that you have a better understanding of what it actually is, how it differs from Web 1.0, and that it is not simply a marketing buzzword. And that's all.